All right, everybody, welcome back to Salt City Counseling once again. My name is Scott Carter. I'm a licensed therapist here in the beautiful state of Utah. This video is going to be published on Sunday, so you know what that means. We got another installment of Healing Narcissistic Trauma. If you're new here, I am doing this series on narcissistic trauma. If you haven't seen my video on like the 5 results on narcissistic trauma, where people just kind of have this smallness, this apologeticness, go back and watch that. That will be useful to you. If you're going to watch this series, honestly, I'm going to keep these installments going. Probably, my intention is to publish these videos once a week on Sunday, so make sure that you hit the notification bell. You'll know when it's uploaded. I'm getting a head start on it this week, so because the last couple of weeks I didn't get them published till late, technical difficulties and busyness and that type of stuff. So if you are going to do this work for yourself, I highly recommend too. In the last video I talked about like three mindsets. If I was to give a fourth mindset that you need to adopt is full commitment. I'm going to see this process through. I'm going to persist. So persistence is key. If you really want to heal this, you really want to get through this, persistence is key. Okay? So if you have a notebook, I've been recommending to people to get a notebook. Okay, take notes on these videos. I'm going to be publishing them indefinitely. I don't know how many installments there's going to be. We're just going to keep them going. I have been basing a lot of this material on the work of Joe Dispenza. So I highly recommend the book called Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself by Dr. Joe Dispenza. That would be a great complement to doing your own thing. Healing narcissistic trauma. I've taken elements from his work and sort of put them in this. So in this video, I'm going to talk about start conceptualizing, start creating, and start putting into concrete like this sense of a new self. Who it is that you want to be, where it is that you want to go. As a therapist, as a clinician, right? People often want to come into therapy. And traditional therapy, conventional therapy, they just want to rehash. Therapists just want to rehash through all of your trauma. They just want to stomp around in that swamp all day, all the time. I get very limited effectiveness out of it. I get very limited. I find that clients have very limited benefit out of it. I've told many of my clients that if they're going to come to therapy with me, I prefer to, instead of have their identity be based on all of this trauma or this identity, their identity is being small, being apologetic, being a caretaker, being whatever, can't ever do anything right, whatever it may be, and instead adopting this new identity. And usually I try to define this new identity as basically that your new identity is, and I want you to write this down. If you're taking notes, I want you to write this down. My new identity is that I am learning how to be healed. I'm learning how to heal. I'm learning how to be whole. And that's your identity. When you wake up in the morning and you look in the mirror, I want you to remember to yourself, okay, this is the old me, kaput, and the new me is I am adopting this new self. I'm learning how to be whole. I'm learning how to be healed. So I'm going to get into some exercises here. I'm going to get into some mental exercises, give you some homework. I threatened in my video last week that I was going to start giving people like, hey, I'm going to give you some exercises. I'm going to give you some actual things to do starting next week. So here it is. I'm making do on my promise. And so we're going to start talking about building a new self. We're going to start changing your patterns and creating a new sense of self. And I'm going to warn you up front, this is going to feel foreign. This is going to feel odd. This is going to feel uncomfortable. The exercises that I'm going to have you do, your brain is going to be like, I don't know how to do that. You're going to sit down and you're going to be like, okay, let's do this. I got nothing. Your brain is going to struggle to cough up information because quite frankly, you haven't asked your brain to do this particular exercise before. It's like sitting down at a piano. You don't sit down at a piano and crank out Mozart or whatever. You just do boom, 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 right? And at best, that's what I can do on the piano. So again, you can't sit down at a piano and expect your brain to play piano if you've never taught it how to do that before. And same with this stuff. You can't expect to sit down and have your brain do this stuff if you've never asked it to do this stuff before. Okay, so I'm going to get into some of these exercises. I want to get my housekeeping out of the way first. So if you are new here, please subscribe. Love to have your subscription. If you find this content helpful, obviously share it. Send it to someone that you think would benefit from it. All the sharing, all the liking, all the commenting is of course appreciated. If you really like my content, please hit the tip jar. Cash App, Venmo, PayPal will help me keep content like this going to you consistently. And for those of you that have already donated, thank you so much. I super appreciate it. If you have viewer questions, scottc at saltcitycounseling.com. You will remain anonymous. You can also ask a question in the comment section below, but please make your question clear and detailed. Sometimes people ask questions and I'm not really sure what they're asking for sure. So be very clear with your questions. Go check out my new website, highconflictcommunity.com, if you are dealing with a high conflict divorce or custody. Still working out some of the bugs over there, but we'll get there. I just really want to be able to provide that resource for people that need it, because I know how hard it is to find some real education or anything on there about high conflict divorce and custody on the internet. So you can also sign up for consultations over there. I do remote consultations for people that are kind of seeking some plan of attack or some advice on how to go forward with some of these. So without further ado, let's start talking about the new self. Now, I want you to consider some concepts here. Like normally on my wall, I have a picture of a phoenix. I made it myself. Consider the concept of the phoenix. I also have another quote on my wall. It's right here. It's a Charles Bukowski quote. It says, "You have to die a few times before you can really live." And what it just means is that it's so important to like the phoenix, or even like a snake, that you shed off the old self and this shiny new self comes forward. And so again, a lot of traditional and conventional therapy wants to keep that old self intact. Keep that, like if you're a snake and you're trying to shed this old skin, a lot of traditional therapy has a tendency to tack down that old skin and say, nope, there's still use in it, when it's dead and there's no need for it, there's no use for it anymore. So start considering like, I want to be this new self. Like I said before, adopt this new identity. Write this down if you haven't already. My new identity is that I am learning how to be whole. Okay? Or I'm learning to be big. I'm learning to love myself. Whatever resonates with you. Okay? A lot of people are very, very allergic to the concept of self-love. To me, that has been the effect of everyday narcissism. It really has. So the new self, okay, there's a couple of exercises that I want you to do, okay, when we're starting to construct this new self. Okay, exercise number 1. Where's my notebook? Okay, draw a line down the middle of one of these. Okay, on one side, old belief. On the other side, write down what I would like to believe instead. Okay, so what we want to do is start making a list of things that you would like to believe instead. Now, a lot of people, they say to me, those beliefs feel like nonsense. They feel like bull crap. They feel like BS. Do it anyways, okay? Do it anyways. Use your imagination, okay? Albert Einstein always talked about the power of imagination. Albert Einstein really believed that one of the reasons why he accomplished what he did is because he was willing to use his imagination. Okay? So, on another page, start writing down. Here, let's get a new fresh sheet, even though the whole thing's blank. I want you to start writing down what you want your life to actually look like. Okay, write down your values. Write down the traits that you want to exemplify. Write down traits that you see other people exemplify that you admire in them. I don't care who it is. Maybe it's a celebrity. Maybe it's your favorite comedian, Bill Burr. Maybe it's a fictional character who exemplifies a lot of these traits. Write them down. Maybe it's confidence. Maybe it's courage. Maybe it's they're not afraid to cry. Maybe it's that they are not afraid to be alone. Maybe it's that they don't apologize. Maybe the traits that you want, who it is that I intend to be. Okay? We want to entitle this particular exercise, who I want to be, who I intend to be. Well, there's a lot of power in setting intentions. And instead of talking about where you've been over and over and over again, if we talk about where you're going over and over and over again, you're far more likely to get there. Now, like I said in my last video, you have to understand that it's a commitment. It takes time. A lot of people that have had narcissistic trauma, they suffer from perfectionism because of that trauma causes them to believe if you're not perfect at this right now, then you need to quit. Okay, that is a false belief. Okay, if you're going to do that belief exercise, what are one of my beliefs? Okay, write that down as one of my negative beliefs. I have to do it perfect or I have to give it up. Okay, what do you want to believe instead? I want to believe that it's okay to make mistakes, and mistakes are the perfect path to a perfect me. Okay, whatever. Okay, and learn to adopt the correct beliefs. Okay, step 3 in all this: read them every day. As you read them every day, you're going to spot modifications that you want to make, and you're going to spot things that you want to change or add, and make it more potent, make it more powerful. Here's a hint. Try to focus on the value or the virtue. In other words, I want to be more courageous versus a specific outcome or specific behavior, if that makes sense. Because the idea here is that if you are hyper focused on only one trait or one outcome or one behavior or one belief or whatever that other people or society might tell you you're supposed to have or you should have, whatever the case may be, then you're going to create a tunnel vision, and you're going to miss a lot of right answers that may be outside of your tunnel vision. Okay, so again, start writing down, constructing these concepts. Like, even build a character. If you were to write a story and you want to write a story about your perfect character in terms of their own journey and their own growing process and their way of finding themselves, that's a great exercise too. And then picture embodying yourself as that character. The idea is, where do I want to go? What do I want to be? And who do I want to be? And already what you may be noticing is, okay, how do I get there? What is the method? Okay, we're going to get to some of that in later times. What I need you to do with this is just do these exercises and just trust the process. A good metaphor for trusting the process is the Karate Kid and Mr. Miyagi. If you've never seen the Karate Kid, like the old one from the 80s, basically, Mr. Miyagi, he's this old, I think he's a war vet even, Japanese martial artist, and he's teaching this kid karate, he's teaching this kid martial arts, and this kid is like, teach me karate, and Mr. Miyagi is having him do all these chores like waxing cars and painting the house and sand on the floor. And this kid is like, what is the point of all of this? And it turns out there was a lot of good points and purposes to doing these exercises, even though at the time they seemed weird, stupid, and futile. Do them anyways. Just go do them anyways. Don't worry about the how right now. Don't worry about piecing it all together. Just do the exercises for now, okay? So that is going to do it for this installment. Go do those exercises. Comment below. Tell me what your experiences is. Tell me what you are noticing as you do these exercises. Connect with others and get some feedback from other people as you go through all this. Okay? Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. We'll see you in the next one.